How'd you end up at Pitt?
Well, it's a pretty funny story, actually. So after hitting the portal at Eastern, Pitt really wasn't even in the picture at first. So I remember I was visiting Memphis, and I landed in Memphis, and then Coach Dallas calls me. He said, hey, let's get all those other visits canceled. Let's get you up here. So, yeah, so then I came up here. I said yes right away, and then just never left. Man, I loved it.
Who did they call you?
Huh?
Who did they call you?
Coach Dallas.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what about it got your attention right away? I thought this is
Because I think at first I really wanted to take all three of my visits because I got it down to Memphis, Pitt, and JMU. But then when we got into the X's and O's and the scheme, you could tell that Pitt really depends on the D-line to make plays. And, it's not much reading. It's kind of just going. You know what I mean? So that's what I really like. It's a simple defense. You can play violent and just do your job easy. So that's what I really liked about it. And Coach Dallas is a good dude. You can tell he believes in his guys. He brings energy every day. So that's what I really liked about him.
Yeah, when you committed, I think we talked. He said there was obviously a connection here with Gavin, high school teammate. I mean, what were you able to kind of pick up from him, talking to him about before you committed to Pitt?
Yeah, because I remember calling Gavin first thing. I was like, hey, man, this would be crazy. And then he's like, well, I mean, he talked to some of the coaches. He vouched for me a little bit. But then I kept telling him, yeah, I got these other schools I want to visit. He like, bro, you'd be dumb not to go to Pitt. You know what I mean? So he's kind of just telling me how good Pitt is. I mean, he had a good run here too. So he kind of gave me a pre-visit, if you will. He kind of told me everything I needed to know before I even came. So, I shout out to him. He kind of gave me the guidance when it came to coming here. And, man, I loved it ever since. So I appreciate him for that.
How much did you study or know about kind of the legacy of some of the guys that have played defensive line here over the last 15 years?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the biggest name is Aaron Donald. You know what I mean? He kind of I would say he paved the way for Pitt. But, coming through, talking to JT, he comes through all the time. Jalen Twyman, he helps us in the film room. He's like a secondary coach, But just picking up knowledge from guys like that, it's it's kind of like an honor. You know what I mean? You kind of feel indebted to these guys. You kind of owe it to the people that came here before you. So you kind of wake up with an extra edge on your shoulder every morning. You know what I mean? So, us, the new guys especially, we're looking to add on to that. So make the D-line what it once was. You know what I mean?
What would you say your strength has been in your career so far?
I'd say my strength probably I would say my knowledge of the game. And genuinely just football. I've been playing football for a long time. Run defense, pass rush. So I think just being another quarterback of the defense, would help. But obviously you got to get the scheme down first. But when it comes to the X's and the football, I know what I'm doing. So.
You talked about the scheme, during the recruiting process that kind of got your interest. Now that you're in the building, in the walls, watching film, what really stands out about this defense and where do you kind of see yourself in?
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of just a see it and go. You know what I mean? It's there's no really reactions. Because when you watch it on film, the D-line's just flying around, trying to make plays. So, that's what I really like, especially watching the film from last year. You know what I mean? The boys are getting after the quarterback. But, yeah, it's a good defense. And I know Coach Dews, he's had that since Michigan State. So, I remember watching some of those games back then, the Rose Bowl runs. So, it's just one of them defenses where it's just never not going to succeed, you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that.
What was your first impression of Coach Narduzzi?
Coach Narduzzi, he's a very high-energy guy. I didn't really expect that when I walked in. He's obviously a defensive guy, but, walking into his office, he was super excited to have me there. And then when he brought up Gavin and I going to the same high school, he's like, I never thought I'd have two Blue Mountain guys in here. But yeah, it was a good time in there. He's a good dude. You can tell he's a football guy. You know what I mean? He loves football, and that's important to me. You know what I mean? Some guy has high energy all the time, and that'll believe in you every single play.
Coach Dallas is in his second year coaching this unit. How kind of talk did he have to you about leadership and being a veteran presence for a group that's going to have a lot of young guys?
Yeah, he said obviously coming in, like I said, I played a lot of football, but just doing whatever I can to raise the room. You know what I mean? Obviously coming in as a new guy, you can't step on anyone's toes, but you got to come in, just be where your feet are, and just work hard every single day and try to lead by example. When your time comes, you could be that vocal leader, but everything's earned in football. You know what I mean? No one likes the guy that comes in first day and like rah-rahs everyone up, you know what I mean? But just looking forward to just elevating the standard of the room, you know what I mean?
How do you think playing with Eastern and the MAC will help you to be ready for college football this season?
Yeah, I mean, MAC football, I mean, it's obviously, like, I would say it's a level down from here, but there's dudes at every single level, you know what I mean? And, you know, when we play our big games, you know, we do well too. But yeah, I would say, I mean, it's football at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Another dude's trying to wipe you off, so you kind of just do your job. But yeah, man, it's football at the end of the day. So just play your game, read your reads, and I'm sure you'll be just fine.
Blaine, you're originally from Youngstown, right?
Yes, sir.
So, like, during the high school recruiting process, did you come to camps here? Did you ever go to games here?
Yeah, back in 2018, this summer, I came to a big man camp here in 707s. I was a skilled player too in high school, so I did the 707, then came and did the big man portion of the camp. During the spring, we also came up as a high school visit. I got the chance to see Aaron Donald working out. They was recording at that time too, so I'm in like one of his videos where he was working out.
So what led you to become a defensive lineman? Where skills that you got?
Because that really wasn't me, honestly. And I think that is what kind of set me aside being on the defensive line, was the fact that I did have the ability to be able to move as an athletic person on the edge, and it kind of translated. And then as far as like me knowing, you know, things about football, offensive scheme and stuff like that, it helped me with that as well.
I mean, I guess was one of the big selling points getting closer to home, being able to just right down the road from Youngstown?
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be this close to home, but definitely.
For you, I mean, you and Anthony Johnson were both on Bowling Green back in 2019. How was working with CDs to get you here today?
That was like the first person I hit up after I talked to Coach Dowse. I texted him like, y'all D-line coach just hit me up. He called me immediately. He was like, you gonna like it. You gonna really enjoy it up there. He said, I'm gonna talk to him for you. And was big in this like thing for me, you know, as far as like getting me familiar with everything, getting me familiar with how everything was ran on the program. And then basically the overall culture and stuff like that. So it was big. And still to this day, he helping me. He here on the staff now, so he helping me get my feet set and everything like that.
As you were learning about, what excited you about the way Pitt plays defense?
The speed of the defense. I like the attacking style. I like the fact that when we was watching film, like, not even just D-line, linebackers, everybody was flying to the ball. I like that chaotic look that this defense has. I feel like it creates a lot of problems for offenses, and I feel like that's something that tends to my skill set very much, like, as to what I've done in the past.
What were your first impressions of Coach Dowse?
He's a guy. He's a funny guy, too. I like Coach Dowse. I think he's straightforward. I think he's a very genuine person, too. And he's very authentic. You know, he didn't sugarcoat anything in this process. He checked up on me every single day. Even once when I got here, he made sure I was good and settled, making sure everything was going smooth in my transition.
You talked about like the style of defense kind of catching your attention, but what about the personnel on this defense? I mean, they have Kyle Lewis, Rashawn Biles coming back. How good do you think you guys can be?
I mean, very good. Like, you can't help but to, like, give knowledge to that. When I'm watching that film, I see I got backers like that behind me. That's amazing. Like, the way them guys fly around to the ball, the football smarts that they got, and you could tell that they love football. That's all you can want. You know, being somebody that loves football myself, I want to be around guys that's going to fly around to the ball, that's going to, you know, just help the defense come along and bring energy, bring swag to the defense. You need players like that in order to be successful.
Last year, the group had a guy named Nate Mackay who came in, was a solid veteran, filled in, became kind of leader. You and Joseph, like, you're in a similar position. When you're coming from somewhere with a lot of experience, you're working with a lot of young guys. How do you approach that as a leader, try to earn their respect, but also, you know, grow to be able to teach what you learn and fit into this culture?
Yeah, first thing first, like you said, got to earn respect. And like Joey said, nobody likes a guy that come in and just want to, you know, be on top of everybody that quick. It's going to come from me putting my head down and working first. They got to understand me as a player, too. And that's kind of what I want to do. Like he said, lead by example is a big thing. And I think that's kind of another place where I will bring value to the defensive line, is that the fact that I am experienced and I can help these guys grow their game as well. You know, I can give them tips and stuff like that about how to go about things, especially when we read tackles and stuff that they might not see right now being younger players, but things that have definitely helped them in their toolbox for sure.
What other options or schools do you have considered entering
So when I heard the portal, it was all about getting closer to home, or at least getting on this side of the map. I came from the West. So a school that I was looking big at was James Madison. They were one, and UTSA. Now that's not as much as closer to home, but as far as location, I think San Antonio was a place where I would like to experience while trying to get to the next level. Another big school, I'd say Arkansas State, because my defensive coordinator at Utah State, he was going there. I built trust with him. And then it was a handful of schools as well. But once, I heard from the University of Pittsburgh, it kind of was a no-brainer once I seen the film and stuff like that. And once I realized the scheme of the defense, it was a few other schools that tried to swoop in after, I announced that I got interest from the University of Pittsburgh. But at that point I had what I needed in all the check boxes. I wanted to get closer to home. I wanted to play against great competition and a great atmosphere. So, I kind of shut it down right after.
You're a Youngstown guy. Did any of you coach all the coaches from Youngstown?
Absolutely, because they understand, So I think it don't get no better than that. Along the way, sometimes you come across coaches, they may not understand where you're from and stuff like that. But with Coach Dudes being from there, having strong ties to my city, he even got in touch with one of my high school coaches, that I haven't talked to in a while, which is crazy to me. He called me, he said, hey, these coaches reached out to me. So the fact that he got that tie there and he understands what it's like to come from the city that I come from, it gave me a sense of comfort, and it's like, okay, I got to do my best for him too, because he seen the opportunity in me. Well, he gave me the opportunity.
In your mind, what sets a Youngstown guy apart from everybody else?
It's an overall grit factor. What it really is for us is that I come from the bottom of the bottom, and that's facts. Since since growing up, I've seen a lot. A lot of my friends don't get to experience this. A lot of friends is dead now, so it take real resiliency. And I think me being in college, that's kind of my whole story is resiliency. And without my background, I don't know how far or if I would have been able to hold up. But once you come from that, if you make it out of there, you can do anything in life, I promise you.
You mentioned being close to home. What's that going to be like for some of those people that you grew up with, able to come and watch you play now?
I love that I can do that for them, and I love that they get to experience it, and I love that, they'll be able to get the chance to see me play on this level. Because at the end of the day, football is a big thing for people there. If they don't make it to football, they're going to try something else, but that's what we really love down in Youngstown, that area. It's a big football city. And, we always looked up to the guys that played at this level. Like Darren Hall, he was here a few years ago. He was a big one that was here. And even just ones that played at other schools. So the fact that they'd be able to take this hour drive and get the experience, an atmosphere like this, it mean the world to me, especially for my family, my nephews, all of it.
Jaeden, I guess what was kind of the message to you, whenever Pitt reached out to you? What kind of role were they talking to you about, and what kind of attracted you to this place?
Well, they had a lot of interest in me, and it was a place that needed me, which was important to me. And what attracted me to this place is the style of defense that they play, with the verticality and aggressiveness. And I really liked the coaches. I thought they were honest and true. And just being around the players and the guys, I thought it was a good fit for me.
What was it like just moving across the country? Obviously you played in the West Coast, and now you're in Pittsburgh, and it's cold all the time. Yeah,
it's different. It's a big change, but I'm always accepting to take on challenges head on. So I think it'll be a fun little challenge for me.
You're different than these guys over here. You're a sophomore. You're kind of going to this game with less experience. But what have you learned so far in your football career?
I learned, I've seen what it takes to get to the next level. I've seen guys who have to stay in for, extra meetings or extra lifts, extra recoveries. And I just seen everything it takes to get to the next level, and how far behind you will be if you don't do that.
You have some of the guys. What are your impressions of the way Pitt plays defense, and how much was that a draw for you?
Yeah, I liked it. It's a take a shot style defense where it highlights the DNs to make plays and the whole defensive line to make plays. And I feel like that was best for my skill set.
Coming from a program like Oregon, one of the tops in the country, what were some things you learned there that you can apply here?
Just different skills and techniques, and I'm very thankful for all my coaches installing in me and picking up from all my other teammates.
I know it's early and we probably haven't gotten on the field a lot, but what's it like kind of working with Blaine and Joey, just two seniors, and you guys are all kind of in the same boat?
Yeah, they're great guys. They're definitely someone that I'm willing to learn from, and I think it's great having older characters like that around.
What was it like being in the transfer portal for you? How was that experience?
The experience it was all right. It's not something I'd want to do again, but it was definitely what needed to be done and put me in a better situation, so I'm thankful for that.
Who are some of the guys, some of the older guys on this team that we come into this program and latched on to a little bit, been a sounding board for you so far?
Yeah, I mean, I still have to understand like the culture around here and the ins and outs of this team and whatnot. And it's great that I can learn the defense from guys who already know it.
How would you describe what makes you unique? What skill sets do you think you bring that set you apart?
Just my style of play and my passion and hunger to my effort and my motor and pass rush, and I think I'm an all-around player.
There's a lot of other sophomores on this team, especially this D line room, who have been, were playing and pushing for playing a lot last year. How have you gotten to know some of those guys that are around your same age you're going to be working closely with?
Yeah, I mean, I gotten to know them well.
What was your first impression of guys like Jasier, Francis, other guys that, same age, y'all coming through like for you to connect with them, and how have they been in trying to get to know them?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, they're all great guys, and it's fun to be around them.
We talked about like the structure of Pitt's defense and like the attacking style, but what about like the talent on Pitt's defense? I mean, they have guys like Kyle Lewis and Rasheed Biles. I mean, what do you think you guys could be this year on defense?
I mean, I think we could be great. I think we're able to stop the run and suffocate the pass, and I feel like it's going to be really good this year.
James, obviously, it takes a strong leg to make a lot of kicks from 50 plus, but I think he had 6 or 7 last year. What goes into being able to connect on such long field goals?
Honestly, just my preparation and how I practice. I practice like it's a game, so when it comes to game time, I just put my head down and follow through and then make my kicks.
I assume you've had some conversations with Ben Saul since you've been here. What kind of things did he offer you as far as advice? Like looking over there and succeeding and stuff?
He said just come in and be me and just do what I do, and honestly, he's a great guy, and I got a lot of advice from him. And he showed me his like routines and stuff like that, and I'm just gonna lock in and grind.
James, did you study at all his rise through and what he learned at Pitt, what he became? Was that one of the reasons that you decided to come here?
Honestly, he played a big role in me coming here, just like when I was on my visit and how he talked to me and like how he talked about the coaches and how much respect he had for the program. Like, kind of, like, it gave me like a good reason to come here. So.
I know everyone's goal is to, make it to the next level, but from your perspective, does coming to a place like Pitt where you're kicking in an NFL stadium, was that a factor?
Yes, for sure. Like, and also like the competition and just playing in big time games, like that's just like the perfect environment to make it.
What's your relationship like with Coach Bernowski? How far was he in bringing you on?
He was just straight up honest, and he just showed how much he really wanted me. And you want to go somewhere where you're wanted, and so yeah.
Are you looking forward to the challenge of trying to kick at Acrisure Stadium?
Yeah, I love challenges, and I heard it's the hardest stadium to kick in. So if I can kick there, I can kick anywhere.
What's your first impression of Coach Bro?
He was chill. I mean, like, he was just straight up honest, and he was a good guy.
He hasn't. Does he seem like a high energy coach at times, or is he been kind of like easing you into the process?
He's been easing me into the process and just making sure I feel comfortable, and make sure I'm straight, and just make sure everything good.
And told you how he'll bend a garbage can over his head.
Huh?
No, last spring when it was getting ready, he was trying to hype up the guys. He took a garbage can, like really bent it over his head. So you haven't got that kind of coach yet.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't got that yet, but good to know that.
Kind of with Ben, he had some calming techniques that he used to get ready to make you click. Kind of calming techniques you use yourself.
Honestly, I listen to Bob Marley before games, just kind of just be chill, you know what I mean, and just keep that positive energy, positive vibes, and then you feel me, I just go out there and I make my kicks, and I just trust in myself. I trust in the preparation I did. I work hard, so what I'm saying, I get a lot of reps, so when I go out there, I know I got the reps in, so I'm not nervous, you know what I mean, so yeah.
I mean, as a Florida guy, this team has a lot of guys from South Florida. Did you have any connections or know anyone before you got here?
Yeah, I knew Lamar Seymour. I played with him in high school. Couture Hicks, I played with him in high school too. So, yeah, and I played against Andy Jean. So I have a lot of relationships here. Like, you know, people I know, people that know me. You know. So.
Does that make it easier to kind of transition here?
Yeah, it makes it much easier because, you know, I got like history with people, so it's like, you know what I mean, it's easier to fit in, you know. So like.
What was it like being at Murray State the past 2 seasons, and obviously last year you spent more time kicking?
Yeah, it was great. I loved it, to be honest. You know, so Murray was the only school that gave me like a real opportunity, so I just took full advantage of it, and you know, it brought me here. So, just thankful. You know what I mean?
Was the reason for entering the portal get a chance to play a high-level program?
Yeah, I wanted to play in big-time games. You know what I mean? So that's really it. And I wanted to play on a high level. That's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to win games too. So.
JuJu, how you found Pittsburgh here?
It was
Blair, so you're familiar with snow and cold.
Yeah, well, so Blair, it was my first year up there. So this past year's been an adjustment because I've been in Florida for the past like 5 years. So kind of getting back used to the cold. But I grew up in Jersey. I moved in 2020, so it's kind of coming back home a little bit. It's like a little homecoming. So I've been enjoying it, seeing the city a little bit, but it's been really good so far.
Coach Dell said you were basically his first kid after he was hired here. What was it about him that you liked so much?
I would definitely say the family man that Coach Dallas is. He's a real honest guy. Like, he's going to keep it 100. He's not trying to sugarcoat anything. And personally, for me, that's the kind of coach that I'm looking for. And, you know, he just kind of gave me that family aspect that he's going to be hard on you when he needs to, but he's also going to try and bring you up as a player and help you out.
You talked about your year at Blair. So you went to high school in Florida, then a year at Blair. I mean, do you think that helps you kind of transition to college, that you kind of got that experience there first?
Yes, sir, definitely. I would say being on my own a little bit, like definitely my parents helped me bring me up as a young man, being independent, but once you're on your own, it's definitely a different experience, I would say. And just getting that experience of you got to wake up on your own, you got to eat on your own, all that, but also having this community around you to help you, it's definitely been made this experience and transition a little bit easier so far.
You played on both sides of the ball. What attracted you to defense, and you miss catching passes?
I would say I miss it a little bit, but I like to hit people rather than get hit. So I like that contact, like I'm trying to go hit somebody. So that's always been me since I was a little kid, and that's always what I found fun. And I can still catch the ball on defense, just got to make it happen, make a play.
JuJu, you wouldn't think of DN playing on the other side of wide receiver. What are some of those traits that help you on the defensive side?
Wait, what did you say?
So they're not a lot of DNs that may play both ways, where they're on the other side of the ball, they're playing wide receiver. Like, what are some of those traits? You aren't catching it, but like the things you learn from that side. That
I would definitely say the footwork, just having that footwork, speed kills at the end of the day. So being able to move against the offensive tackle is going to be hard for them to block me. And I would just say that being fast and twitchy, all the skills that you got to learn, and it's still kind of the same movements, really the same thing as trying to get past the DB is kind of the same as a offensive lineman. And it's just a 300-pound guy versus a 180 guy. So just being more physical, I would say.
Coach Dallas talked a lot about your frame and your length. How do you use that to your advantage at end?
I would definitely say I got a lot of room to grow. My upside, I would say, is probably my highest point, and just putting on that size back. Like I said, being twitchy and fast, I got a long frame that could fill out, but I'm able to move faster than some smaller guys. So just keeping that up and being athletic and just filling that out and get a little bit bigger over the offseason, just keep putting in work.
Where do you see your strengths as far as rushing the passer versus stopping the run? Where things you feel strong at versus things you're like, yeah, I need to work on this?
Definitely, I would say my strength is my speed, just being able to be elusive around the passer. Definitely, like I said, trying to put on that weight to be able to be a more dominant run stopper. But I definitely still think something that I can do well, just something that you need to work on a little bit, obviously, and that's just something I just got to improve on in the offseason.
How much weight do you want to put on by the time?
I'm not too worried about that. I'm just kind of trying to see what I play good at, definitely, but just taking it day by day, trying to put it on gradually, not trying to worry about it too much, because I know that's going to come with time, and with all Coach Stack and all of them, they're putting the time into me, so being able to grow and get bigger day by day, that's what I'm worried about right now.
Yeah, right now.
Right now I'm at like 215.
Who are you closest with on the team right now? Obviously, you just came here, but who are you closest with?
I'll definitely say the whole D-line group, trying to be close to them, build that relationship. You know, I still haven't gotten to meet everybody, but trying to go from D-line and defense and then expand, make a brotherhood. But I'll definitely say the whole D-line group right now and the coaches.
More and more the guys are enrolling early, skipping out their last semester of high school, graduating early. Why did you decide to do that?
I would just say it's just a huge advantage. And first of all, it's just a blessing, you know. And I would say a lot of people get that opportunity. So it's an opportunity that you got to take, being able to be in the weight room, getting used to the college environment. You're just going to be so much more ahead of someone, let's say, that doesn't come in earlier. You know the playbook, you know the eating and the routine. So just being able to advance going into your freshman year, you're just able to pick it up even further.
Okay. What's these guys? We just talked to like 3 dudes that are coming here with experience in college football. Where do you find yourself trying to fit in with this team? As you're the younger guy, you're coming in, you got to learn a lot while like everyone trying to adapt to the system.
I would definitely, like you said, just being very open-minded, trying to follow the guys that have done this before, looking after behind them, you know, trying to not, I would say, play catch-up or anything, but just taking what they're giving me, asking them questions like, hey, why'd you do this? Or, hey, what you looking at here? And just using that to grow, because I think that's a true advantage for me. We got guys that are juniors, seniors, 6 years, 1 years. So being able to take their wisdom that they can give to me, I just ask a lot of questions, be very open-minded, and just see where everything goes.
How many position meeting groups where like the whole D-line group has been together? How many do you think you guys have had since you've been?
Not too many as of right now, just because of traveling a little bit. But I mean, I know in the future we're definitely gonna have a lot.
When those have happened, who has been? Has there been one player who's kind of been the person that speaks a little bit louder, everyone kind of like he's kind of sets the tone, or is it kind of just been everyone's feeling each other out?
I would say a little bit everything, people feeling each other out, but I definitely say that I could already feel the brotherhood. Like my guys, Nate Temple and Ghost, there, some of the guys that bring the energy up every single day. Like you can't be sad around them. Like you just always want to smile when you with them. So it's just been cool with them, man. Though everyone's kind of used to each other except for the new guys coming in, but even then, we all kind of have like a relationship that's building, and that's been pretty good.
As a New Jersey native, what was it like to watch Kyle Lewis last year, just a dude from Jersey, just be one of the best players in the country?
He was going crazy the whole game. I remember watching the Syracuse game. He was going stupid. He just put it on for Jersey. That's just something I was like, being from Florida and Jersey, I like showing both sides, but a lot of people don't know that I'm from Jersey originally, so it's pretty cool for him to see him put it on for the city or the state.
I know you got hurt during your senior year, so I mean, how much time did you miss, and how are you feeling right now?
So I got hurt week 5 of my senior year. I missed 5 games during the season, and I feel like I'm doing great right now, getting back to 100%. Yeah.
What was it like seeing these linebackers either call themselves the Sharks and they make as many plays as they did last year?
It was inspirational because one of my cousins, he's one of the Sharks, Raheem Bowles. So just seeing him and seeing where we came from together, like, really showed me like what I can do and like what holds for the future here.
What did he tell you about how they built that culture and made themselves that big of a part of the team?
He said it wasn't easy. It was a grind every day, definitely. You got to work hard no matter what. Just work towards a goal, and they work towards a goal to be the best linebackers in the nation, and that's what they did.
And what kind of impact was potential to play with your cousin?
That was major, just because we always played against each other as like young children, but we never got to be on the same team. And now we're finally on the same team. That means a lot to me.
Did you ever get the advantage on him when you guys played against each other?
Nah, he was always bigger, faster, and stronger, but now we're at the same level. Not the same level.
Coming up, you were listed as like a linebacker in high school, but I think you're coming here to play defensive end. What kind of allows you to just kind of play on both sides, but also what are your strengths as a pass rusher, I guess?
Something that allows me to play both sides is like my versatility. In high school, I was primarily linebacker, strong safety, and now coming here playing defensive end, I feel like some strengths that helped me play defensive end this year would be my speed, like speed to power, something like that. My hands, using violent hands.
Did you ever play with your hand in the dirt in high school?
No, sir.
I mean, I know you haven't really gotten on the field, but how do you kind of look forward to that transition?
I'm really open to it. Coach Douse, he's a great teacher, obviously. I feel like he's going to put me in the best position to be great, whether it's putting my hand up in the dirt or standing up. But I'm excited to put my hand in the dirt. First time, it's new for me, and yeah.
What was the talks like, when they brought that up and the position change and saying, hey, we see you as here? How did they bring that up, and how did you take on that suggestion?
It was easy for me to take it on personally because I like playing DN because this was my first year actually playing DN in high school, and I actually liked it. But putting the hand in the dirt, it was kind of hard for me to decipher and like come to understanding of it. But now that I feel like I'll be better with my hand in the dirt.
What was your first impression of Coach Narduzzi when you started recruiting?
I love Coach Narduzzi. My first impression was I was kind of nervous because my first impression, he came to my high school. And that first feeling when you meet the head coach, you get all nervous and stuff. But he was a very welcoming guy. All he talked about was the tradition and culture here, and that was major for me because the school I came from it was a huge tradition and culture school. Yes, ma'am.
What was it about him that appealed to you when you considered him?
Really, the way he recruited me since my freshman year, and he was on me about just getting bigger, getting faster, and he was really adamant about developing me and waiting until I actually got to where he wanted me to be. And I really like that about him because that stuck out to me because some coaches they just tell you what you want to hear, and he told me what I needed to hear instead of just feeding me just to hide my head up.
You said Pitt first contact with you as a freshman in high school?
Yes, ma'am.
What was that?
Yes, sir.
What was that like, being a ninth grader and all of a sudden college coach talking to you?
It was kind of crazy because going into high school, I really didn't have to I didn't know what offers were. I didn't know you know what I mean. So it was a good experience. It was a very cool experience. It was good.
When did the offer come?
January of going into my senior year. So this year around this time, last year.
Go ahead.
How did that injury impact you, love for the game? How did it take it away from you, and what has it done for your mindset going forward?
It impacted me. I would say it was very impactful to me. Around that time, I was just going through some things, but it definitely told me taught me that don't take no plays for granted. One play can be your whole career or can be an injury that costs you a couple months of recovery. But yeah, it definitely impacted me a lot.
And Coach Dallas hasn't been here a long time, but last year he played, I think, 2 or 3 true freshmen. Did you kind of see enrolling early as a path to maybe getting on that track?
Yes, sir. That was one of the reasons I early enrolled, just to get some early minutes or just learn and develop and get stronger physically and get ahead of the game before August.
What can you say about playing Ohio and just Columbus that prepare you for the level of competition there?
Can you say it again?
You're from the Columbus area. What's it like playing in that area with football? What can you say about that compared to
Compared to Pitt?
Yeah, what's the level of change for you, and how do you transition from that?
I feel like my high school, it was a football high school. So we primarily are one of the top teams in the state, and I feel like they helped me develop and helped me to transition that into where I am today. So I feel like it's not going to be too hard, but it's not going to be too easy either. I know I'm going to have to work every day.
It was hard to give up the last semester of your senior year in high school.
Yeah, it was a lot of thinking, a lot of thought process going into it with my mom and stuff, because in my family, they didn't really want me to leave early, but I feel like sometimes you got to make sacrifices to get where you want to be in life, and that was a big sacrifice I made. So it wasn't that hard.
Were you a basketball player?
Yes, sir.
Did the basketball coach get a little upset?
So I started basketball. I played varsity my freshman and sophomore year, and I ended up quitting. Going into junior year, to focus on football primarily, and just to get get more bigger and stuff like that.
Tim, how have you adjusted to the academic side of college?
My high school was a very huge academic school. They were
like student athlete first. You're always a student before an athlete. So I feel like transitioning school-wise, my high school really set me up to be great, and I feel like the transition was pretty smooth.